Burlington had the 8th, but we also had the 7th, the 6th, and the 5th New Jersey, 2nd New Hampshire, and 110th Pennsylvania. Excuse me, 115th Pennsylvania. They were in reserve. When Sickles moved forward out to the Peach Orchard out there along the road, these New Jersey boys were in reserve. They were the reserve brigade for the 3rd Corps. As we said, though, when Sickles moved out, he left a lot of gaps and holes in his line. When the attack starts, Sickles quickly realizes he's got some big problems, and what he's going to do is cannibalize this brigade. So instead of fighting together to keep their cohesion as a brigade unit, Sickles, as division commander, will split these men up. The 8th New Jersey will fight here in the wheat field. The 6th New Jersey's out in the Valley of Death. Some of you saw it as we drove past it in the valley. 7th New Jersey and the 2nd New Hampshire is up by the Peach Orchard. And the 5th New Jersey's out along the Emmitsburg Road. So this brigade has been cannibalized and it's been spread all over the south end of this field. Now that might have solved a little problem for Sickles, but what it did, it broke these guys up. Now these men are coming down here, taking position again alongside of units they don't even know. They're under command of another brigade commander down here they might not even know. So it's not a good idea to do this, but because of what Sickles did, this is an emergency move. The 8th New Jersey was actually, the whole brigade was actually up there, up near the road where we came in on, farther up that way. They're being parceled out, and finally the 8th New Jersey will be sent into the wheat field. This was one of those gaps that afternoon. Sickles initially had no infantry in here. He decided he put some artillery here to cover it. If you notice, there's a Union artillery battery. There's their monument up there on the rise. That was the only unit here. That's nice, but artillery cannot defend a position by itself. They need infantry support to hold. So the 8th New Jersey gets sent down here, and they're going to come through the wheat field. They're going to take position initially behind that stone wall. Then they're going to move to their right into this ground right here. And what's going to happen, they're going to get hit from Confederates coming right down this hill here through these woods. Now for you folks that weren't on the bus, we explained this. These woodlots you see here today did not look like this 150 years ago. They farmed differently in the 1860s. They used to fence in the crops and let the animals roam. So those farm animals would have chewed out all the undergrowth in these trees. All you would have had here during the battle, guys, are the big trees. All the undergrowth would have been gone. These 8th New Jersey boys could probably see 150, 200 yards in this woods. Now the first attack they're going to see is a bunch of Confederates going across their front. These are guys that are going to attack Devil's Den out there. So the 8th New Jersey takes them in flank. That's going to kind of force those guys back. And then another Confederate brigade comes in right through here. This will be Anderson's brigade. An entire brigade, and they're going to be hitting the 8th New Jersey and the 115th Pennsylvania right in this area right here. You got these two regiments against this brigade. There were some other Union troops farther up on the hill here. The 8th New Jersey's taking heavy casualties. Men are going down. Colonel Ramsey, their colonel, gets wounded. Finally, the order is given to pull back. As they're pulling back, they're going to try and go through these trees here. Their battle flag gets stuck on a tree. Well, the battle flag, that is the symbol of your regiment. You do not want to lose that flag. If a regiment loses the battle flag, that's a major disgrace. So you're going to do everything. So what's left of the 8th New Jersey huddles around the color bearer, and they're still fighting while he's wrestling with his flag to get it out of the tree. He finally frees it, and they will finally head up to the road on the other end of the wheat field, and pretty much they're out of the fight, both in the wheat field and for the day. Now that's just the beginning of the wheat field fight. This fight keeps picking up more and more. More Confederates start coming into the area. Sickles starts funneling some more troops in here. Finally, other Union troops from other corps get sent in here as reserves. And what happens is this wheat field, guys, becomes the whirlpool. What's happening, this little field right out there, guys, is going to change hands 6 times that afternoon. Back and forth through the wheat of the battle lines. You're going to have attack, counterattack. As one side gets the advantage, they push through the wheat. The other side gets reinforced, they push back. So you got this ebb and flow of battle right out here. Finally, when the Peach Orchard collapses, an entire Confederate brigade comes right down the hill, slams into the wheat field, and that's it. They drive the last Union troops out of here. Fighting is over. That night, laying out here in this trampled wheat is over 5,000 dead and wounded soldiers. Right here. Wow. The veterans said on the night of July the 2nd, you could walk across this part of the wheat field right here without stepping on the ground. It is just carpeted with the dead and the wounded. Of course, that night it's going to get even worse because once the shock of a wound wears off, the pain sets in. So now it's dark and all you hear from this trampled wheat is screaming and yelling. Well, it got too much. They actually had a local truce down here. This did not come down from above. So the local troops finally said, look, you don't shoot our stretcher bearers, we won't shoot yours. They finally let the stretcher teams into the wheat to pull out the wounded, get them on the ambulance, and get them out of here. The only place here at Gettysburg that would happen, right here in the wheat field. Any questions on the 8th New Jersey, guys? Okay, what we're going to do now is get on the bus. We're going to head back to